with all due respect, I think the headlines aren't going to be dominated by the man just over my right shoulder, Michael Carrick, who has just announced he will be departing the club following his spell as the caretaker manager. He might be smiling now. Perfect farewell gift for the Manchester United fans.
Well, he's been a fantastic. It's obviously come to a shock to us all. We weren't expecting it, were we? But I have to say, the way he's carried himself, the way he's taken the reins. Obviously, his mate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer losing his job, and then coming in and having some tough games, Villarreal, Chelsea, Arsenal, and to come away and handle himself the way he has, get the results that he has. No matter what anyone says, he's got a reaction out of the squad, because they were on the knees after the Watford game, and I think he's done a wonderful job for the last couple of weeks, and it's a surprise that he's leaving.
Away at Chelsea as well, I should add. We know how tough Chelsea are to beat, how tough it is just to score a goal against them. I mean, where do you stand on Carrick's legacy here at Manchester United? Not just as caretaker, but player.
As a player, he's a fantastic player. He's had a wonderful career. He's moving to the coaching side of the game. He did a great job with Jose, and with Ole. Now he's moving on. You wish him nothing but all the best. I think Michael's record speaks fully for himself. I also think sometimes he's getting to the point where he needs time away from the game. Spend time with his family, and then God knows what's going to happen to him going forward. But I'm sure he's had a taste of it. He probably wants more of it. I think once you have that taste, you want more of it. So I would not be surprised if in the next couple of weeks or couple of months come back in the touchdown again, because once you have a taste of being around the first team as a first team manager, you want to carry on. So I said he should be very, very proud of himself and what he's accomplished here at Man United.
I mean, I'm sure there's a few chairmen out there, owners of football clubs, who've seen the way he's handled himself over the last few weeks. And if a job comes available, I'm sure he'll be in the running now for a crack in the hot seat. I think, as Fab says, when you get a taste of management and you are the main man, you'll probably want more. So it'll be interesting to see what lies ahead for him.
Can I also just throw this out there? Is it for the best that he was to move on? Because of the new manager coming in, I know he's an interim manager, then you're going to get another manager. He spent some time now, part of the backroom staff. Does it help that he's not around? Maybe some of the others might leave, we don't know yet.
That's the question you're going to ask the new manager, Ralph Ragnick. I mean, he's the man who's going to have the answers to that. He might want to bring his own staff in. He might have wanted to work with the people that he's got. I'm sure ultimately it was Michael's decision in obviously leaving his role today after the game.
He has said it's 100% his decision.
100% his decision. So he obviously feels like it's the right thing to do. A new brush tends to sweep clean when a new manager comes in. So it'll be interesting to see what he's going to do when he actually takes hold of the reins tomorrow morning. And obviously Michael leaving, it'll be interesting to see what happens with him as well.
What about the players' perspective though, Fab? When you have a new manager coming in, do you want remnants of the past regime to still be present? He has been around a while.
Listen, there's two ways to look at it. There's the guys who are currently playing right now, they'll be like, okay, Michael's gone. There's guys who have not been playing. When the new manager coming in, they feel like this is an opportunity for them to prove the point. I think keeping Michael on board would have been probably something that looked to keep forward, but I think the club decided something else. Michael also feel like he decided to step away from the game. I think as most managers feel like it got to the point where, with how things have turned out this couple of months, it's best that he stay away from the club and recharge his battery. As Brucey said, there will be a lot of opportunity for Michael in the near future, and I really hope to see him back out there and in the touchline, because he's got a potential, he's got a lot to offer, he's got a lot to offer in the game as well.
What makes you say he has potential? It's just 3 games. What makes you see something in him beyond what we've done for the past week and a half?
You look at the game against Chelsea. Chelsea's not the easiest team to go out there. Did a good job. Look at the game today, did a good job. Look at the game with Villarreal in the Champions League, did another very good job there. So his style of management is probably different to what they used to hear. People say because he's very calm, he doesn't talk much. But he'd be very surprised, probably when in the change room, probably be more volume than anybody else. So he has a potential. Everybody who's Man United don't give you an opportunity to be the first team manager unless they see the opportunity in you. He's learned the trade the right away. He's been a coach under some top manager in this club. Now it's time for him. Obviously, decided to step away and recharge his battery, and hopefully we get to see him back again.
What a fantastic servant, though.
Yeah.
I mean, as a player, he's won everything. He's been asked to step in and take charge of the last few games. He's handled it exceptionally well, and I'm sure he'll go down as one of the legends of this great football club, and he deserves it thoroughly because he's won everything, and he's been an immaculate servants of the club.
He's probably one of the best passers of the ball you see in the Premier League.
Sorry?
Best passer of the ball. When he passes the ball, you know, he's a very as a player, I can see the influence he's had in McTominay, how McTominay played with terms of the way he passed the ball. This is what Michael used to do every single time he plays against, because, as I said, he's a very good midfield player, but also now he's a very good coach.
Yeah, I feel odd to pose a critical question when he's literally right behind me. He might come and punch me in the back of the head. I'm sure he won't.
I'll let you know if he does.
Oh, thank you. Probably 2 seconds too late.
Well, hopefully come up with us. That'd be nice.
The thing is, you look at how the Solskjaer regime finished.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue anybody could have come in and would have picked up in terms of results, but also he was part of that regime which led to such bad results. So I'm just trying to find out, why do you think he's going to become a good manager, based on what I've just said anyway?
Well, you have to judge him on since he's taken over the role. I mean, when you look at it, some would say it's a very, very difficult thing to pick a team up that's on its knees, and let's be fair, Man United were on the knees. I mean, after that...
He was part of it.
Yeah, he was, but he wasn't the main man. Ole Solskjaer was. And when you're the main man, you make the major decisions, you make the major choices, you pick the team at the end of the day. Obviously, the coaching staff can have their say, but when you're in the hot seat and you have the final decision, it's totally different. So in the last 3 or 4 weeks, when he's been in charge of the team, he's made them big decisions, had to pick a team up that's been struggling with confidence, and he's, as I say, he's handled himself exceptionally well, and he's got really, really good results, and he's left the place in the time he's been here, and it's only 3 weeks better than what it was after the Watford game, that's for sure. And Ralph Rangnick will come in now tomorrow after a wonderful performance against Arsenal, 3 points off 4th position, with a string of fixtures where you'd expect Manchester United to win, so they're in a better place.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and we have to talk also about Arsenal, let's not forget.
Yes.
Where do we position Arsenal right now? I asked this before the match even started. They have the ability, and we've seen that over the past 11 games, to beat every other team outside of the so-called, I would say, Big Five, because they beat Tottenham, didn't they?
Yeah.
But they lost against Chelsea, Manchester City today, against Manchester United and Liverpool. Most recently before this game.
I mean, the situation with Arsenal, you always worry that, yes, they're able to be a team that's, 11th, 12th, 13th in the league. The one that you want them to compete is this kind of game, where you want them to showcase the ability, you want them to see what Arsenal are about. And they've not done that, and you have to question, is there a mentality thing where, I always knew if Arsenal was to go down 1-0 here, it would end up being a loss, because they haven't really come back from 1-0 to win the game. So it shows that the game today, they were winning the game. When United scored, the crowd got on top of it. It's just more like there's not enough experience in that change room in terms of calming people down, leading the way, that knowing how to control the game. And that's what the Arsenal team is still lacking to this day. Me, fortunate enough that I was able to come to the academy, you knew what to expect. You knew the type of player that they had in the first step. And this team, it's one of those where, yes, they have 3 or 4 weeks of good work, but when they're up against the big boys, they always tend to struggle.
Where do you stand on Arsenal? I mean, is this we all know it is a long-term project because Mikel Arteta has said so. So how long are we going to give them? I mean, until they become real contenders?
Well, we touched on it before the game. I mean, it's one of the hardest jobs in football to try and get hold of Chelsea, catch Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City. They're exceptional football sides, and to bridge that gap from the top 6 upwards to get into that top 3 now is a really, really difficult job. It'll take time. I think Mikel's slowly starting to put his stamp on the team. I think they've had a lot of good results. As I say, I think before the game they lost 1 in the last 5 or 6, and that was against Liverpool. They'll be disappointed with the result tonight. I think once they got back to 2-2, he'd have probably liked to shut up shop and go back to North London with the point. But unfortunately they couldn't keep hold of that. But there was positive to take from the performance tonight, and I'm sure there's things that Mikel will build on.
In all competitions, before the Liverpool game, they were actually unbeaten, I think, in 9 games.
Well, there you go.
But then you've got to say, this is the Mikel Arteta team. This is his team. This is his player that he's heritage, his ball. This is the player that he asked the club to buy for him. So there can't be any excuse in terms of where they finished this year. We all want them to do
where
really well.
Where should they finish then?
If Arsenal get to the top 5, they've done very well this year.
Top 5?
They've done well. If they do top 5 this year, it's incredible, because there's a big team out there who they're having a turnaround at the moment. There's a team out there who have started the season really well. West Ham, Tottenham are coming around again. The big 3 clubs already gone. But it's just that if they can get to the top 5 this year, they've done really well.
top 5 successful for Arsenal, bearing in mind they're not in Europe. They have a full week quite frequently to prepare for a match in the Premier League.
Well, listen, if they finish 5th, you'd have to say it's a good season because of the quality of the teams that are above them. I think only Michael can answer that question, but I think you have to appreciate the job Arsene Wenger did then, don't you? For how many years that he actually put Arsenal in the top 4. It goes to show how difficult it is. And at the time when Arsene left, there was a lot of question marks over him. And it just goes to show since he's left how difficult it is to put Arsenal in the top 4, any team in the top 4, because the quality of opposition that you're coming up against every week is so great.
But things can turn on a dime. You said it'll take a while to catch up the likes of Chelsea, City and Liverpool. Chelsea were 9th. They were heading to 9th place almost a year ago.
Yep.
They were almost there, and then Frank Lampard said goodbye, but there they are, top.
Yeah.
So it can turn pretty fast.
It can turn fast, and obviously Thomas Tuchel went into Chelsea and has done an absolutely fantastic job. And it would need something similar. Obviously, Ralph Rangnick coming in at Manchester United will have the same kind of job on his hands to try and put them back in that top 4, bridge the gap between the top clubs. Tuchel did it at Chelsea, so we'll have to watch this space for Arsenal and Manchester United. Yeah,
and Bruno Fernandes had a great impact in Manchester United when he came in a January transfer window at the time, transformed their season. Maybe Ralph Rangnick will have the similar impact.